If you're trying to revive a once great Formula 1 team, what better way than to recreate the leadership of a super team that won 4 consecutive World Championships? That's the approach Williams has chosen under the ownership of Jost Capito, which took over the team last August. But with a twist, because the team leadership that has been brought in enjoyed its huge success not on the circuits of Formula 1, but on the stages of the World Rally Championship with Volkswagen. It's still very early days in the team's hoped-for recovery, so it's too early to draw any conclusions about the effectiveness of having 3 of the key architects of Volkswagen's WRC glory involved. But there are reasons why this seemingly unorthodox approach could pay off. Make sure you're subscribed to the race so you don't miss any of our coverage of the 2021 F1 season. And if you want to know as soon as there's something new to watch, strike the notifications bell. Jost Capito started work as CEO of Williams in February, putting him in charge of the day-to-day running of the team. Capito was Volkswagen head of motorsport from 2012 to 2016, meaning he oversaw its march to 4 consecutive World Rally Championship doubles, winning the driver's title with Sébastien Ogier and the manufacturer's crown from 2013 to 2016. Capito departed in September 2016, shortly before the 4th titles were clinched, for a 5-month stint as McLaren Racing's COO. While he was a victim of politics and a team that hadn't yet come to terms with how much it needed to change, many of the ideas he wanted to see implemented at McLaren were subsequently introduced by the team as it began its own revival. But that's not Capito's only Formula 1 experience, as he was at Sauber from 1996 to 2001. He also has stints as head of motorsport for Ford and Porsche on his CV, meaning he's well qualified to lead Williams. Capito was key to the recruitment of new technical director François-Xavier de Maison. Known as FX, the well-regarded de Maison was project manager of the Volkswagen WRC project prior to becoming technical director of VW Motorsport. De Maison's predecessor as VW Motorsport Technical Director, Willy Ramph, is also involved as a part-time technical consultant. Ramph was Sauber Technical Director from 2000 to 2010 and oversaw the design of the all-conquering VW Polo R WRC that won 43 World Championship rallies in 52 starts. Effectively, Williams has got the band that dominated the World Rally Championship back together. There was surprise and scepticism from some when Williams announced de Maison as technical director, given the vast majority of his motorsport career has been in rallying, albeit with some slight F1 experience from his time with Renault and Peugeot Sport in the distant past. Williams has been without a technical head since Paddy Lowe stepped down as Chief Technical Officer in March 2019 on what was initially a leave of absence, prior to his official departure 3 months later. De Maison slots in at a level above the existing senior technical personnel at Williams, which includes design director Doug McKiernan, chief engineer Adam Carter, chief designer David Warner, deputy chief designer and head of design Jonathan Carter, and head of vehicle performance Dave Robson. Like team principal Simon Roberts and operations director James Colgate, De Maison reports to Capito. De Maison was always Capito's first choice for the technical director role and refers to his fantastic engineering capabilities. He has also stressed that De Maison's job is not to transform the way the technical team works, but to build on its existing strengths. While his technical leadership skills were all showcased in rallying, Capito also cites 2 other areas where De Maison's experience can have an impact at Williams that are rooted in the recent Volkswagen IDR project. This is an electric car that set a series of records at various venues, notably the Nürburgring Nordschleife and Pikes Peak. This project gave De Maison experience of electric vehicles and simulation technology, as well as the ground effect aerodynamics that will have a far bigger role in F1 in 2022. And with aerodynamics the key performance differentiator in F1, De Maison also has plenty of experience of this side of motorsport, giving the growing significance of aero in rallying. In particular, the 2017 VW Polo WRC that never competed involved a huge aero push during its design and development phase. The key focus for de Maison will be the all-important 2022 car for the new regulations. While he will attend some races in 2021, his main focus will be at the factory and the new car project that has been underway since last year. De Maison's lack of F1 experience is a concern, but he has long harboured ambitions of taking up such a role. His work ethic means he's well prepared and has a good reputation for the ability to build strong working relationships, meaning he should be able to integrate well with the existing technical personnel. The key is he must get up to speed quickly. But this is where Willy Ramph can play an important role. He knows de Maison and F1 well, making him the perfect person to bounce ideas off and to help fill the gaps in areas where de Maison lacks experience. As he's not part of the day-to-day structure, this gives de Maison someone he knows and trusts to lean on. While not a large role, he can make a valuable contribution to de Maison's integration at Williams. Ramph's experience in F1 stretches back to a visit to the South African Grand Prix at Kyalami in 1993. Then working for BMW South Africa, this led to an offer to join Sauber, becoming Heinz-Harald Frenzen's race engineer in 1994. He engineered Nicola Larini, Gianni Morbidelli and Roberto Fontana in 1997 before returning to work for BMW, but rejoined Sauber in 2000 as chief race engineer prior to his almost immediate promotion to technical director. Williams finished last in the Constructors' Championship in each of the last 3 years and has not scored a point since July 2019, when Robert Kubica finished 10th in the German Grand Prix. Having started the V6 turbo hybrid era in 2014 with the second fastest car on average and third place in the championship, Williams slumped in subsequent years. Last year, it had a car that was quick enough to reach Q2 10 times, but missed out when points were on offer, most famously at Imola, where George Russell crashed out of 9th place under the safety car. It's set to be a similar story this year. Russell reached Q2 in qualifying in Bahrain and finished a lapped 14th. Williams was 2.6% off the pace, very similar to its average deficit in 2020 of 2.7%. But both Russell and teammate Nicholas Latifi have talked up how wind sensitive the car is and hope for better performance in conditions more suited to the Williams FW43B. Regardless of whether the car has better days in 2021, the key is 2022, when the biggest overhaul of the technical regulations in F1 history combines with a newly introduced cost cap and more equitable distribution of the F1 revenues shared by teams to give Williams a great opportunity to close the gap to the front. While it won't make up the deficit in one leap, the objective is to become a consistent points threat in 2022. The performance of that car will be the first indication of how successfully the ex-Volkswagen WRC superteam has put the once great Williams team back on the track to glory. And who knows, if one day Volkswagen itself wants to return to F1, perhaps that will make Williams, with some famous VW alumni, the obvious choice. Realistically, that's unlikely to happen, but Capito and de Maison, with a little help from Ramph, have the chance to play a key role in the Williams recovery under Doralton Capital. Let us know in the comments if you think Williams have picked the right people for the job, and if you enjoyed this video, remember to like and subscribe.